Hey adventurers, welcome to our second edition of Herpetological Updates. This time we're going to take a look at everything that happened in the past year. So looking back at 2023 and see if there's new species and what else is happening taxonomically for herpetology. There are 4 different ways that I like to categorize changes. There are new discoveries, so this is a completely new species that's never been seen before that somebody discovered. There's splits, where we take one species and we split it into multiple. Maybe we had a subspecies that got elevated to a new species. Maybe there was some extra data and just we split into something else. Lumps are the opposite of that. We take multiple species and we put them into one. And shuffles are sort of like taxonomical cleanup. This is when we move things from maybe one family to another or a genus to another and just kind of move things around, but there's not an actual change to the species. So this time we're only going to talk about 2 things. We're only going to talk about splits and shuffles, as there weren't any new discoveries or lumps in sort of that North America area that we're covering. Now, sometimes these taxonomies can be a little controversial. Not everybody follows the same taxonomy. And so what we're doing today is we're going to look at 2 different databases to go off of. There's the amphibian species of the world and the reptile database. We're going to use these 2 databases as a source of truth for today. And if you have comments, you think that there's a better source that I should be using, please let me know in the comments. And of course, at Schechter Natural History, we do produce a mobile app on reptiles and amphibians. All the updates that we're talking about today will eventually make it into the app. That's one of the benefits of having an app instead of a book, is you get updates. And so a lot of the updates that we talked about last year have already been made into the app, and we will continue to do that gradually throughout the year as we get more data about all the things that we're going to see today. So let's talk about shuffles. Now, there was one paper that actually covered 2 different shuffles, and that was for the rough earth snake and the black swamp snake. Now, these species had been moved into a new genus only back in 2018, and this new paper just kind of undid that work and restored them back into their original genuses, or not necessarily original, but what they were prior to 2018. For the rough earth snakes, it's Virginia, and for the black swamp snake, it is Seminatrix. Let's get into splits. The big one this year, I think, was the southern sagebrush lizard got elevated from a subspecies into its own species. And so you can see that Sceloporus vandenburgianus is the new species name, and it can be found in Southern California. There's no overlap in the common sagebrush lizard. So if you see them in this area, which happens to be close to my home, you know that this is going to be the new southern sagebrush lizard. Now, welcome the Talladega Seal Salamander. This is a brand new species that was split from the regular seal salamander, Desmognathus cheaha, which is named after a mountain that's out there. I believe it's in Alabama. And you can see here sort of the range kind of starting in the northwest from Atlanta, going all the way down into the red hills of Alabama. So if you're out there, that is the new species that you expected to find. And of course, in that sort of Atlanta area, it's going to be possibly a bit of a hybrid range or an integrate range. And so you might need to look a little closer. There are some diagnostic field marks in order to differentiate this. We'll have those eventually in the field guide so that you can tell exactly which type of seal salamander it is. There was some big updates with spotted/northern dusky salamanders. Split these into 6 new species and continue to keep both northern and spotted. The new species are Camps or Savannah's dusky salamander. This was the recommended common name, and yes, the paper had both of these suggestions in there. So Desmognathus campi, and you can see that that is the purple coloration down there. We also have the Catahoula or western spotted dusky salamander, Desmognathus Catahoula, which is the pink coloration all the way down in Louisiana. There's now the wolf dusky salamander, Desmognathus lycos, and I guess this one is like more robust than some of the others, and so it got that wolf name. And that you can see is in North Carolina and South Carolina and sort of the areas around there. Next we have Baird's or Piedmont dusky salamander, Desmognathus Bairdi, and that one is in those gray ones, mostly in North Carolina. There's the Foothills dusky salamander, Desmognathus anicetus, and this one's not really highlighted in this graph, but it's in that little area there at the North Carolina-Tennessee border. I think it may also extend into South Carolina. Then there's the Tilleys or Max patch, Dusky Salamander, Desmognathus tilley, and that's going to be in that Tennessee area right along the border with North Carolina as well. But that is all the updates that have happened in the past year, and so thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to hear more about any of these species or like to hear other updates, and I hope that you go out there and you find all these things in the field.